Hi guys, welcome to my cycl4 video. So today's lab is making OSPF mainly on my routers and check its passive interface and making it without advertising the router using network command. I should configure a default static route to the server. And every PC should be able to open one of the pre-built web page on the HTTP server in web browser. Okay. So, Starling said this is gonna be really easy, but no, like this is like the hardest one. Yes. So, okay, let's do this. So I'm going to use 1941 router model here, and I added HWIC2T model in here. So every time when we get inside here, there's some options in here. So it depends on what you're gonna use. You have to put something like appropriated. So how you're gonna do is first you have to of course shut down, power off I mean, and after that put the one that fits to your device. In my case I put this one HWIC2T in both ways. Okay, and we need to get in router and check here, and we just need to turn off the machine. It's the same thing. So okay, let's do this. First thing what I did was I did config a loopback address first on each router, which are like 1, 2, 3 like differently, because I don't want them to get lost and I don't want myself to be lost. Well, I can just put router 1, 2, 3, but we learned it, so I just used that. So I set up with 3 different loopback address, as router 1 was 1.1.1.1, 2.2.2.2, 3.2.3. And by the way, we don't need any no shutdown in loopback setting. So first time I did the no shutdown, just like a habit, but it doesn't matter, so just don't do it. So okay, moving on. Next, let's config OSPF. OSPF was kind of tricky, but I treated like last cycle and I did in like last presentation. So if you guys have any question, just check it in there. So I did router OSPF command first, and after that I set it up 3 different IP address with /30 network, which is given. So in router we do router 1 show up interface brief. Give me a sec. Okay, so well, I set up the whole thing. So let's see. Gigabit Ethernet 0/0 here is up, 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 up. Everything is up, which means what? Everything is working right now. Cool. And another one is show run. As usual. Like, I'm just telling you guys, like, there's 2 ways to check it. Like IP interface brief, like it's really briefly showing it, but do show run or show run configuration is gonna show like every single detail in here. Also in PC, let's do ping. I will just do ping later. And let's set up the different server IP addresses. As I know, there are a lot of different servers, and we can do this show run. Just check this one. So I did a router 1 in here. So as we can see, 0/0/0/0, it's here, 2 here, 0/1/0/0 is here. So everything has its own IP address and subnetted, and clock rate is shown. And we do show controllers 0/0/0/0 to check detail. Okay, it is detailed. Like there's so many unfamiliar words in here, but what we have to find is DCE. Okay, I find DCE in here, and clock rate is 2 and a lot of zeros in here. which is fine. Pass. And most important thing is we have to ping 2. Okay, I just pinged to 172.16.1.2, which is this router, and seems like it's working. Moving on. And I did the setting up the whole thing, like each router, they're able to communicate each other. Just in case, let's check it. Okay, success rate is 100%. It's fine, so I will ping to here. Okay, success rate is 100%. Perfect. Let's move on. I will check it from here. I will ping to router 1 in here. Okay, 100%. I will ping in here. Perfect. Moving on. Oh, by the way, and every time when you do put some configuration, let's do copy running I'm sorry. Copy running config, start up config every time so that it's gonna save your file. So let's move on. Everything is set up right now, and I have to make PC as passive interfaces, and I'm going to talk about this one later too, which is different. So why? Because when we do routing protocol, we are trying to avoid some interface where we don't need any routing table command. So what we'll do is in router, we'll just put router RIP, and there's gonna be pass configuration and giving an interface number. It's really easy. So after that, what we're gonna see is here, router RIP, passive interface gigabit internet 0/0. But I did another passive interface later. I'm going to talk about it later. And after that, the main point, how to create OSPF. We've done this one before, so I'm going to talk a little bit briefly. Of course, in router, it's really complicated, but briefly I will talk about it. So in OSPF, we're going to put router, and after that, OSPF. And we're going to set up the router ID, and giving a magic number, world card number, and put area number, and set up the OSPF. And how to check OSPF is very easy. Show IP protocols. So I set it up like OSPF 1, everything. So router ID is 1111 because it is router 1, and router 2 is 2222, 3 is 3333. And when we see in here, routing for networks, everything is in area 0, and there's passive interface. By the way, this is different with RIP passive interface. Or we can just use show IP route like this. This is more familiar. So we see a lot of things in here. By the way, the one we have to check is O word. What is that? OSPF. So OSPF, I got one O in here, which is serial 0000100000010, which is connected. And another one, it's the same thing. So let's move on to router 3. Show IP route. Okay. What we find in here is 000,001. So this is 000 together, and this is 001 in this way, which is OSPF right now. And here too. Show IP route. Okay, 001 is connected, and 010 is also connected. So how to set up OSPF is very easy. We do show IP protocols, and when we're setting up OSPF, and after all, don't get out, and we just need to put passive interface. So we just need to put passive word after creating OSPF and give interface number like gigabit Ethernet. So it's gonna show like this. So moving on. So HTTP, it was kind of interesting. So how to set up HTTP is go to service and go to HTTP, and you will see index. I will just choose index and edit. There must be center, and from here it's gonna be your like front font, like really big one. And after that, in HR, there's gonna be like contents in there. So I put check from north and HR section, yo, finally, and save it. How to check this one is very easy. So let's choose PC. And on the right side, we find our web browser. What we have to do is just put IP number of server. Jack from north, yo, finally. It's the same thing everywhere. It's gonna show the same result. Okay. So the last one, what we have to do is pinging each other. So I'm going to ping PC to PC everywhere. So right now I'm PC in here, and I ping to this PC, and yes, zero lose. Let's move to this one and ping 192. I'm pinging to this PC right now. So zero lose. Moving on. Ping. I'm going to just ping only once in here. Oh. Okay, zero lose. To sum up the whole thing, when we do the show run from the top. Hostname J1, I just set it up, and let's pass that one. Spanning tree mode and IP address as a loopback that I said, I just set it up, and interface, IP address, and there's no shutdown word. I'm so happy. And 8 gigabit 0/1, which is not using in this model, so pass. Serial 000, and shows everything clearly, and OSPF, everything seems like perfect, and there's a passive interface and there's another passive interface. And let's go to this one. Okay, same. Router ID 2222 because it was 1111. It cannot be same. So everything is in area 0. Passive interface is set it up. And the last router, interface serial 001, 010. Seems perfect. OSPF 3633 and passive interface and NAT3 network in same area.